It's important to name the police officers that lost their lives in the tragic shooting in Dallas. There were 5 officers that lost their lives. Brent Thompson was one of them. Patrick Zamarripa was another. Michael Krol was another cop who lost his life as a result of this sniper. Michael Smith was another. And Lorne Ahrens was the final cop that was shot and killed.
So, can you go back to Michael Krol? Because this is immediately what I talked about on social media, and what I want everybody to see, right? So you'll see in the upcoming days, this is the only one we have so far, family members, right? Look at how proud his parents are.
This whole thing is so devastating. It's hard to even imagine what these family members are going through right now. I can't even imagine it.
Don't ever do violence. Don't ever do it. You're always going to break somebody's heart. Those parents didn't have that coming. He didn't have it coming. Nobody's got it coming. I'm always reminded in Greece, they're outraged by what happened with the banks. They're right to be outraged. But then somebody goes and does something stupid, and they go and they raid a bank. And what do? They killed a teller. A teller who's a low-level employee, who's working his ass off, and you killed him. What did you accomplish? Nothing.
That guy probably thought about robbing that bank himself many times. I mean, you never know what side people are on when you take out people that are not the policymakers.
Yeah, so if any of you are ever tempted to do any violence, first, of course don't do it, but let me try to find a way to convince you. Always think of their parents and their kids. Don't do that to them. They didn't have that coming. Even if you think the father has sin, which in this case is not true, don't put the sins of the father onto the rest of the family members. So don't do that to anybody. Look, these are obvious points for 99.9999% of you. If somebody happens to be listening that's in that incredible minority of people who wants to take action and views themselves as some sort of hero or martyr or avenger or whatever, don't do it. You're avenging all the wrong people in all the wrong ways, and you're causing irreparable harm and damage to innocent human beings.
And it goes completely against their whole point. It goes against their whole cause. If they're trying to say that people should not be killing innocent black people, and then you do this action that immediately gets spun on the movement, you're now taking away all of the efforts of a peaceful movement and letting racists hop onto that and glom onto that and make it seem like that's the movement, and it accomplishes nothing to your goals.
Yeah, I mean, and that's why he's not part of the cause. There were several protests taking place throughout the country. New York City was one of them, where we had our reporter Jordan Sheridan do some coverage, and no violence broke out. These were peaceful protests. And so the thing that frustrates me the most is how those who are against the Black Lives Matter protest, because they can't stand any criticism of cops who use clear brutality against individuals, will say that, hey, you know what, these are violent people and any criticism will lead to violence toward these cops. No one's condoning violence. No one's in favor of violence whatsoever. Black Lives Matter has been so clear about the fact that they want to be peaceful. So this is a lone gunman who did what he did, and to use him as a representative of Black Lives Matter is beyond unfair and irresponsible.
And I want to add one last thing about how stupid and immoral and counterproductive Micah Johnson is, the killer here. So to Ben's point, he's protesting in his mind people being killed because of the color of their skin. And what does he do? He kills innocent people based on the color of their skin.
The exact crime he's protesting.
Yep.
It couldn't be any dumber. It couldn't be any more immoral. It couldn't be any more counterproductive.